What's up, my it's your boy Laughing I'm made looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And you know I'm with the boys. It's Man Cave. And I'm here with the one, the only, up to the top right, Unico Williams. How you doing today, Unico?
Yo, what's good, world family? It's your boy Unico Williams. We're back out here with another one in the Man Cave, just kicking it. You know how we do. Always check your beer for gnats.
Always check your beer for gnats. And to my right here, we have the one and only Montay, aka Montay. How you doing today, my guy?
What's up, everybody? Representative of the Broke Ugly Dudes back again for another podcast day with the crew. Glad to be here and stir up some trouble.
Yeah. And up top, he finally made his debut on the thumbnail of Just a Fan.
Yeah. I got a lot of feedback on that. So that nigga looked like he really played Smash Brothers, like for real. I was like,
but I don't. That's the problem. I don't.
We have Tori. How you doing today, Tori?
You know, I'm chilling. Your local neighborhood scumbag reporting for duty.
Let's go. Every week we out here. Just a Fan will have more people every week. This week was kind of a busy week for some people, but it depends on the week. We have more and more people. But these are usually the usuals. So it's the usual show today. And we're talking about masculinity. I know that's been a bad word. Like, you know, toxic masculinity is negative in a way. And sometimes it's overused in a way. So I want to get the thought on.
May I go?
Yeah, we're gonna let Joe go. Joe, what are your thoughts on?
Man, I've been wrestling with this, man, ever since Kwame kind of put the thought in my brain about the masculinity thing, and is it toxic, blah blah blah, trying to make masculinity a bad word, trying to make it seem like, you know, if you repping like, yo, I'm a man, then it's a problem with that. This is where I'm at. It started with Kwame, and then it came with the Dave Chappelle stuff, right? And so Dave Chappelle has his stand-up. I encourage y'all to watch it. Again, like we say, study this, show thyself approved. But my thing is this. Chappelle said that people trying to say what he said on there. He was talking about the LGBTQ community and all that stuff. And then John Gruden, they try and cancel him for that. And then John Gruden comes out. Football, most masculine thing you can possibly do for the most part. Football. And John Gruden says something about a black man. And don't nobody really bat an eye. Okay, he says that people have rubber lips when he thinks they're liars. Okay. All right, cool. Said he had Michelin-sized lips. All right, I might let it kind of slide. But that was stupid. Don't say nothing about black men's lips or noses. That's just stupid. Don't do that. So, hot button. Off the gate, I'm thinking racist, bro. You racist. You should have talked about anything else, about big ass eyes, anything. But then when it comes to Asians, you can't talk about eyes or things. You know? So, you know, there's different things that you can't say. So John Gruden, he coached the game after that and everything. Then it comes out that he was using homophobic slurs, quote unquote. I wouldn't say that he's 100% against gay people. Now, Michael Sams did come up in the conversation. We know who Michael Sams is. 2014, Jeff Fisher picked him up to play on the Rams back when they was on their last days in St. Louis. One of the first openly gay people that got drafted. Okay, cool. As soon as those emails come out, they automatically got something to say. I'm trying to figure out, black men you still get a pass for talking about us. You still get a pass for talking about us. And my real question becomes this: in the fight for equality, how did the LGBTQ community just skip us in line? All the stuff that black men have had to go through, black people in general, but I want to say black men because black men stood up, and obviously we got strong black women behind us. But at the end of the day, they're more right to try to get rid of a black man before they get rid of a black woman who is a part of a race of black people that people already don't like them. You're at the bottom of that rung. But the thing is, what Kwame Brown said, I'm gonna get off my soapbox here. What Kwame Brown said was, I think he's 100% correct in that they're trying to take that identity out of the black community. It's one thing to be black, but now they're trying to take it away. What it is to, in a sense, feel like being a man, feeling good about taking care of your family, and all. Even the sisters do us bad. They talking about the red flag stuff today. That's all I see on Twitter. Red flag. And if he ain't paying my bills, what? But does that make me a man? That I'm paying all the bill? Like we're starting to lose identity of what masculinity is. Honestly.
Not even starting, Ben.
It's man. I'm being a black man is one of the hardest things that you could ever be. When I was born, and they said I was born to my parents, and they said I was a male, I was black male. They wrote it on that paper. That it's an uphill climb. It's an uphill climb out the gate, man. No type of advantage whatsoever. So when it comes to masculinity, I think that's something that they're taking out of the black community. Everybody else can be a man and be tough guy, macho. I'm Rob Gronkowski. And he can be a dude. You know what I'm saying? John Cena, he can go out there and be a dude. He can be a tough guy. Us. Oh, he's got an attitude problem. Oh, he's angry. Oh, but other people get to be passionate about what they do. Oh, us. Oh no, he's dangerous. We gotta, that's where I'm at on masculinity, especially, myself being a black man. We get these unfair, we get it. And it's just, life is unfair. And so it's kind of hard. I think it's a hard mantle to uphold being a black man. And you gotta be a strong. I think that's why we are the strongest when it comes to a lot of things, because y'all understand what we go through to look like we strong. That's my opening thought.
Wise words from my grandpa.
I was gonna say, was that a question? Did we talk about that in pre? I was just wondering.
But yeah, wise words from my grandpa, wise words from my mama. You born with the biggest disadvantage. Why? Because people see you as different. You're a black male, but also they see you as powerful. Therefore, you don't get the weakness advantage that other people get. They see you as supposed to be strong. You don't get to be sensitive. You don't get to be able to cry. Why? Because when people see you cry, they want to take advantage of it. Where's my grandpa? That's why black men are taught not to cry. That's why another topic that Tori brought up that I don't know if we're going to get to, so I'm not going to really bring it up. That's why it's looked down upon, because that's a sign of weakness. Why? Because you're a man. You're a black man. You're powerful. You toe the fields. You do all that. You carry everybody on your back. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your job.
Just a quick aside too, just to pick back real quick. I coached this kid's football team, 3rd and 4th grade, tackle bar, and they was crying because we lost. They was crying, and I said, "Don't let them see you do that." But I don't know if it was because I didn't want the other team to see them cry, but it was a team of a lot of white dudes. And I think that was my first instinct, was say, I said, don't let them see you cry.
Yeah.
And I was like, have I not learned anything at all? Because I kind of felt like what I was saying was wrong, but I kind of felt like it was right. You're not supposed to cry in front of anybody. So that's something I'm gonna delve into. And honestly, man, that's definitely a question I would pass around to y'all as well in regards to that. How would y'all react to a team of kids that's crying? A team of boys.
My nephew cried when he lost, and I told him, you're supposed to cry when you're not supposed to want to lose. Why? Because
it's a masculine response.
Yeah, you ain't supposed. You're supposed to cry when you lose. What? You like losing? What you want me to do? A smile? No. And then I told him. Then I told my sister. Tell him. Oh, my boy Toine in here. So we adding somebody. Let me go. Hello, Mr. Toine Jackson. He'll be joining us shortly, bro.
Yo, what up?
What up?
What's going on?
Yeah, it's my guy Toine Jackson. Y'all seen him on the channel before. We talking about masculinity now, Toine. So
Okay.
right now we on a little spiel. Joe just told his spiel, taught us how we as black men are taught not to cry. He told his football team, he had played a group of white kids. He said, don't let them see you cry. He said it might be a problem. Why did I say them? And the whole subject of masculinity, and is the world trying to take away our masculinity? So I'm gonna give you time to think, and I'm gonna let Montay respond.
It's okay.
Yes, okay. And I was telling everybody how ultimately I told my nephew it's okay to cry because you don't want to lose, but you also have to get used to losing. But it's all right to feel the way you feel because you don't like it.
Right.
So I'm gonna let Montay respond right now to that. See his thoughts on everything Unico said about masculinity.
I mean, I messed with what he said. I messed with him. To your quick point about the little team and the crying, Joel Embiid, NBA star, when he lost in the playoffs, he was crying at the podium. So if you feel a lot of emotion for something, there's nothing wrong with crying about it.
Yeah,
just the honest emotion that you have. But when it comes to masculinity, I think it's about three things that I think I got in my brain about it. One, nowadays masculinity isn't defined correctly. Like a lot of times masculinity in media is pushed as if it's toxic. And toxic masculinity was pushed
that's a problem
everywhere. And that definition is what's pushed more as, male aggression or hatred of women or even being homophobic is what's pushed more as being masculine. And so it's the negativity aspects of those is what's pushed more. And that's why, masculinity, that and it's being suppressed. Like what it means to be a man nowadays because of, the evolution of gender roles or different ways to describe oneself or the rise of the LGBTQ community. Being masculine is sort of being suppressed to where it's not really, soon it won't even be a definition of what it means to be a man. It's just going to be more of a definition of how to be a person, quote unquote. So that, and then with our generation, I feel, this is my own personal opinion, but I think with our generation, we don't really have a lot of good models to look at it, what it really means to be like a good man. Like I know in our parents' generation, especially when they were fighting for civil rights, there were many good examples of men that you could look at that were, trying to do good work or trying to fight for our rights and everything. So those roles of those people were looked at, but we don't really have a lot of good models. I feel we can look at now that, okay, this is what it means to generally be a good man or live a good male lifestyle. And that's just almost whatever you can find. Cause we almost a lot of times, like at least in my case, I couldn't necessarily look at my dad for that proper model. Cause I know a lot of times it's just our relationship was a bit different. So I couldn't look at him for those kind of models. And a lot of brothers that I met or that I know don't really have a father figure to look at or to ask those kind of questions. And so a lot of times we find how to live our lives or how to be men in the streets or, through the internet or just through hit or miss, trial and error. So because it's just not a lot of definition or not a lot of help, especially because nowadays us as brothers won't really like helping each other or helping a lot. So most times like, hey, like Unico said, like we got to be on our own or we got to, just if you get hurt or if you show emotion or if you even show you're tired, hey, you got to suck it up. You got to deal with it. That's what's mostly pushed nowadays, what we're told. Yeah. So with that, like we don't even want to ask for help. And that'll even push into like, the other topic we'll have. We don't even want to go and get therapy or even go to the doctor, because that kind of thing just isn't pushed. It isn't pushed for us. Like we're mostly taught to just suck it up and deal with it. Be rocks, don't show no emotion, don't show no weakness. So like, that's my thing. Like just a lot of time masculinity, like it's not really defined right. It's more suppressed than anything, and then we don't really got a model to go look after or even ask about it. We just got to find out how we live. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, that is.
Can I hear? I mean, just while spotlights on, if you don't mind, hot second. Now, is it just piggybacking off of, in a sense, what I was saying is, now again, I'm saying that my premise was that black men are like the lowest of the low when it comes to how people are respected, and when it comes to, at the end of the day, in society, period, all everything, all world, right? But a lot of these things sound like something that a slave would say. Don't let them see you cry, because they might keep doing it. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So what if our real definition of what it is to be a man does come from, again, the bottom of the bottom when it comes to society, black men? So the definition of being a man, does it come from the black man?
My reply to that is, I think that definition of what it means to be a man came from survival, like needing to do what you needed to do to survive. So if it was from slavery times, not showing emotion, not showing weakness, so that you could find your opportunity to be free, or just be able to take and withstand the punishment that you're going to have to deal with on a daily basis, so that you don't break down mentally, it might have just came from survival. Versus, 1980s is a different time versus the 2000s, the new millennium, and we in the 2020s right now. It might be different things you'll need to do for survival, but some of the aspects might not have needed to change. But whether they were brought forth in the right way or whether they were modified or changed, who can say?
But yeah, on that, it's also advice in a way, because you do understand people will use certain things against you. If you date a toxic girl and she find any weaknesses, she will use it against you.
But they can only use it if you let them, though.
Yeah, but that's why the whole point is, don't show your weakness. That's that word.
But that's the problem, though. I think the problem right now is that people are acting like words don't already have definitions. So we're taking all this time to assign new definitions to words that already have definitions, which I feel like is changing everyone's thought process on the whole thing.
Yeah,
I have a very different point of view when it comes to certain things, just because everyone's life is different. And I feel like a lot of it is societally ingrained that you shouldn't show this feeling, or you shouldn't do this, and a lot of that, it's got to be up to us at some point to not let certain stuff bother us as much as we do. As hard, and I know that's a lot easier said than done, but I've done it. So, and if I can do it, 99.9% of the fucking world can do it. I promise that. But a lot of it is just, the past is always going to be there. Regardless of how much we move forward, how much we change our thought process, how much we change our reactions to things, the past is always going to be there. So I think the only thing we really can do in that regard, in that aspect of the situation, is to do our best in whatever way we find, not to let it affect us in that way. But I feel like it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day, because you can see the good that it does for you in certain regards, where you take these stereotypes and you embrace them, and like with the kids, you're like, don't let them see you cry. And at the end of the day, you think of that as you're preserving their feelings in the long run, because what happens, they, like you were saying, people take advantage of certain things. Somebody sees they can make you cry once, what's to stop them from trying to make you cry again? But I don't know. It's a very complicated situation from any standpoint you try to look at it from. So I feel like at the end of the day, society is gonna ebb and flow with certain opinions, and I feel like the black community as a whole, we're very much inclined to move in the herd. Like the herd mentality, which could go back to that slave mentality when we were treated as cattle to a certain extent. So that herd mentality sort of always going to be there, like Montay was saying, a survival instinct thing to a certain extent. You move in a pack so you don't get trapped alone. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like everyone's got to find their own way to try and cope with society. And it's really messed up to think that you need to cope with society. But I really don't know of any other way to put it other than that. Like, everyone's got to try and find their own way to deal with the problems that just you as a person are going to have, and then the problems as us as a race of people are going to have. It's sad, but at the same time, I feel like it's changing to a certain extent too. Like it is, we are getting to that point where we're starting to show these kids that it is okay to show feeling, because how many of us know that person that was constantly told not to show feeling, and then one day they get to the point where they can't do that anymore and they lose it for real. And then we got another tragedy on the news or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like it's hard, but we got to try and find that balance as a people. And then but before we can try and find the balance as a people, we got to try and find the balance as individuals.
Yeah, that is true. I want to get Toine in here, but y'all know we talking deep topics, but you see the Zell Reacts merch. Go get you some Do You Hear Me merch, the Man Cave merch. All that will be coming soon. Give me a few weeks. But all that's coming soon. But you do see the Zell React merch. You see the Overall 99 logo, one of them. And you see the Zell React. So go get that merch.
Over there, we got a gun store up there too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So we're going to get Toine in here. That Toine, yeah, we're going to have Just a Fan, all that stuff. All that merch coming soon. We're going to get Toine in here. I want to hear his thoughts. He got a little bit acclimated to what we talking about.
Yeah. Get some of this knowledge right here.
Yeah. And plug the page. Plug the page, Toine. Make sure that's all I always tell Montay and everybody, plug their pages.
Plug their page?
Yeah, you know that YouTube that I like. What's it called?
What talking about? Which one? Oh, talking about Simple Does It?
Yeah, Simple Does It.
Oh yeah, well, I just try to make complicated things in life as simple as possible, because it's already complicated enough. So that's what I try to do. I need to get back on that, man. Get consistent. So, but
keep it simple.
It's like MacGyver. I'm like, hold on, man. You can take this clip, bruh. Y'all thinking about it all wrong. This is how you start a barbecue restaurant. Take that paper clip.
Right. Show you how to make a radio out of a goddamn toothpick and coconut and some string.
What I mostly try to do is just I try to stick to like finances, but every now and then I get like a request or somebody, I get an idea for like more so relationships, because that's what's hot. There's like a niche or a niche, whichever one you want to call it. So for example, I was talking about I'm gonna get back to the topic, but just to plug right quick, I was talking about I think it was a TikTok video where it was like if a girl asks you, can she come over? Like, just say yeah, bro. Because if you don't, then it's gonna cause a whole bunch of problems.
Complicate things.
Yeah,
save yourself the trouble.
All she want to do is just come and be near you. Don't even say like if you want to. That's gonna cause a whole nother problem. And then now you stuck making up for something that you didn't even want to do.
It's simple, does it?
Right.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just do stuff like that. And what I really want to do, and I think I did a video today where it was a girl. I really want to stick to finances though for the Black community, because it was this girl. She was saying like, she was thinking she was just combating the comment that she said that being poor is not a choice, it's a fact. Blah blah. I'm like, no, being born poor is not a choice. Staying poor and dying poor is definitely a choice.
Facts.
Especially, like, I understand the lack of resources and the lack of knowledge. That's one thing. But if you have a phone in your hand complaining about the thing that that you're saying is holding you back, you have literally the world inside of your palm that you can like search,
that you choose not to use.
Exactly. Yep. And even if want to make it about race and all that type of stuff, or rich versus poor, you can just literally Google how are rich people rich, or how are white people rich, or why are black people poor, and you can just have your answer and just do the opposite or copy and mimic whatever those people are doing. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah, and then shout out to the music channel. Let's go.
Oh yeah, music channel on
Toine
all
Jackson.
platforms. I be Toine on all the social media handles. It's IBTOINE. You can search Spotify, Apple Music, all the streaming services. Toine Jackson, TOINE, and
Spitting
Jackson.
the hot fire.
Right. I try. You know, try to do a little something. Man, I just went to J. Cole concert. Stupid dope, bro. Super inspired. That man rapped his ass off.
Okay.
How much preaching do we do?
How much who?
Preaching.
Do preaching I do
Was there a sermon at the concert?
How much did J. Cole preach? How much he stand up there and preach, or did he just straight up just rap?
How much was music? How much was talk therapy?
I would say it was a good 15, 20. When he got on stage, about a good 15, 20 of talking, and then the rest was just like fired up. The rest was him spitting.
See, don't get me wrong. I like a good concert where they go out there and talk to you for a hot second. And,
Yeah, most
I'm
definitely.
glad you do. I can't stand it.
what
I'm
you
like,
want.
man, you know, get to the set list.
Yo, Tori into rock music and he be in mosh pits all day.
I throw a bow or two.
Artist is going through. He said, I hear it through the music.
Gotcha. It just depends on what you and I guess this is the top back into the topic. It just depends on whoever the artist is, but for him, more so, he one of those artists that has like, you know, lyricism and has like a story behind whatever he's saying that backs whatever he's saying. So if you into artists like him, you can kind of appreciate him trying to explain like, hey, this where this particular line came from, or this is how this particular song was inspired. I believe he was talking about when he was talking about one of the songs, it was like they have a hotline for suicide, but they don't have a hotline for homicide when people get killed. He was more so talking about, you know, black males and stuff like that, which ties back into, I guess, the topic at hand, which is like what it means to be a man, because a lot of times we don't feel like it's a safe haven other than like, I guess, around close friends or barbershop talk, if you will, to express and open up. And even then, we're not even 100%, you know, vulnerable. We still got to play it off like, bruh, man, then she kicked me out. Like, you got to laugh at the end on the inside.
That's why therapy's important, people. Utilize it.
Right. But at the end, like, you know, you realize hurt behind the shit, like, bruh, she kicked me out. Like, you know, at the end of I experienced that shit firsthand, but that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. Get all your shit in your car. You can't do nothing.
The priest had that mug filled to the brim, to the back. Didn't even much see out the rearview mirror. I had so much stuff back there.
Trunk don't close no more.
All trash bags.
Well,
you ain't trying to
Not
look
a
back
suitcase in sight.
At least you didn't burn your stuff, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
that's cool.
She told me get out of there before she was calling the police, and that's all I needed to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Once the police are involved, it's a safe bet that I'm not.
I got in there a week later though. But anyway.
But yeah, and I think the reason why we don't like show emotions like that or just try to, you know, get help like as far as therapy and stuff like that, because it goes against what we consider, I guess, as nature. We try to develop this hierarchy of whatever who's dominant or to show dominance. It's like, okay, if I don't show any emotions, if I stick my chest out, head up high, if I be aggressive with every move and every step that I take, then, you know, I assert my dominance, I have respect and all this type of stuff. But really, in all true honesty, those dudes I've learned over the years are the most sensitive people on earth. And they have to put this facade to pretty much like, I guess, to feel or to come off as this particular guy when they're really not. And at the end of the day, like that can only hold up so much until your true self comes out. And then now you like, oh damn, somebody see me now. Now I'm
too quick to fake the funk.
Right. And I think I read somewhere it was like on the average, I don't know the actual ethnicities, but on average, men per day, there's 12 suicides for men because of the fact, like, you know, maybe they don't have like an outlet or somebody to talk to or somebody to, I guess, reach out to or whatever. And I think it's going back to what Montay said, like, it's just how you grew up. Like, I didn't have a father figure growing up, even though I had my grandfather, like, he still was old, like, in his ways, God rested there, whatever. And I probably had my uncles here or there, but at the end of the day, they only showed me like bits and pieces. My I guess, I guess what is it, go-to people, whatever, or father figure or whatever, where like the Uncle Phil's, first things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Like, TV dads, whatever. I think that's for most of us. Like, we just kind of saw that as like, oh, that's what it, not necessarily what it means to be strong or what it means to, how to get women, but that's what it means to actually care about somebody, actually, to show your emotions, to be vulnerable at the same time, use that for, empowerment and embrace those feelings versus shunning them off and then keep being cut off on the world and your family, whatever. And I think that tells you that now in today's age that men are, not necessarily weak for showing emotions, but they're human, just like everybody else. Like, finally. I think that's where we're starting to shed those like gender roles. Like a man has to be a certain type of way when in all actuality, they really don't. They just need to be themselves. If you don't match up with that person, you just don't. Like, I think if we like come together as not necessarily come together as a culture or as a community, but just in one consensus saying like, hey, it's okay to be you and be yourself versus what's I guess what we grew up with and what traditionally is a quote unquote man. Like I said in the beginning, like don't show no feelings, don't cry, push people aside and take what you want and all that type of stuff.
Don't be afraid to step on a few necks on the way to the top.
Yeah. And for those, who are watching this, now in the future, whatever, like it's okay to, be vulnerable. It's all trial and error. Don't just be vulnerable one time. Like, I'm never showing my emotions again. No, if anything, like you show trial and error of what you can say, what you can't do. And then you also at the same time, you weeding out those people that you need and don't need in your life. Because if they're using that, like you said, I think it was how you say your name, bro? Unico. I think what he said earlier is like, women. I think that was you too. I think that was you too, Trevor. It was like women use that as vulnerability, and men too. Like, oh, bro, you was crying because you lost your 2K player or something like that, or whatever it is. I'm just saying, like whatever it is, like they use that and use it up against you. I feel like those moments are teaching moments, not necessarily those moments you should be ashamed of. Like, damn, I should have never said that. No, those moments are teaching moments where you can just be like, all right, these are the people who I don't need around me going forward. Because you're only as strong as, your environment or the company that you keep.
And that's a good point. I just want to say this real quick. That's a good point too. I didn't think of that. Is that when we think about masculinity and weakness, isn't that a lot of times what we manipulate women's emotions because of the stuff that they tell us sometimes in order to kind of get where we get to?
Gaslighting is real.
We are just as susceptible to that. It's just that women, in a sense, with their being
more so.
I just feel like, it's the same as somebody saying, hey, I really like pizza. That's my favorite food. So, when I'm mad at you, I'm gonna go eat some pizza, and then now you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So we tend to use that, and a lot of women are more used to showing emotion, especially when it comes to little stuff like that, pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like, that's a good point. That's something I didn't think of, because you can be considered weak if you showing emotion, because she showed emotion.
Right. That's why I'm glad I got 4 sisters. You got to learn how to deal with.
Yeah,
exactly.
And masculinity deals with a lot of other stuff too. And I want to go over some of them. For instance, most of us here will admit, well, I don't know, everybody ain't the same, but when you broke, it's kind of harder to go on a date, right? Just because of societal norms, what a man is.
It depends on how you built, but you can make the.
I was about to say it depends on how you deal with.
That's why I changed. That's at most. But when you broke, you do kind of stuff. And then the girl will use it against you. She'll like, oh, I paid for your meal last week. You know what I'm saying? This is how you gonna treat me? Okay.
Trevor, I got a question for you on that, because I just posted in this group that I'm a part of, like Black Single Millennial Group, whatever. But one of the questions I proposed was, does a man have, and I think I saw this on like TikTok too, where it was like I think the Fresh and Fit podcast, whatever, with Anthony O'Neill on there. He was saying, does a man have to be financially,
The Alpha Male podcast.
Yeah, there it is. One of them.
Them all Alpha Male podcasts
be funny though.
They do, but sometimes they be talking.
He was saying, does a man, and I want to ask you guys this, does a man have to be financially stable before he start dating?
Let me go with this first. I'm kind of like old school. So my pride would probably like I have to really like you. I have to really like you not to be financially stable to date you. Like I have to like, yo, that person is really dope. Because I might could be your friend or something, but before that I might but if I really like you, it don't matter. We got to struggle life together. But if it's just somebody I'm trying to fill out, yeah, I gotta be more stable. That's for me. That's just for my pride and like I grew up around like you gotta understand. My dad was 45 when he had me, right? So that means yeah. So
Yeah, my parents
uncles were all older than
too.
him. My uncle was literally older than him. So everybody in my family, like right now, are 70 years old, and I'm just 30. So everybody's like, so they all 75, 76. So it's like an old school, hey, well, you better take care of that girl. You better have something to take care of with. So that whole mindset just come from that.
Passed down.
So if it's not like, if I gotta really mess with you to break that mental lapse in that. So do I have to be financially stable? I have to at least have a prospect unless I really like you. I have to be like, okay, I know this gonna start working for me soon. Like I have to know it. Like this is starting to work a little more, so I'm more susceptible to it because the views are starting to go up. But at the same time, when COVID happened and all them photography jobs and the casino social media stuff just went away. Yeah, dating wasn't
change your outlook a little bit.
Yeah, dating wasn't a big thing when I was like, okay, the money went away. And this when I started doing this, by the way. So it wasn't all bad. Now focus on this. How about you, Montay? We ain't heard you in a minute. Do you have to be financially stable?
I don't know.
say-
It's Broke Ugly Dudes podcast. I don't know what that means.
Nah, like
I was just thinking that's funny, Joseph. I was just thinking, I was like, Broke Ugly Dudes podcast. What's this?
But the thing I say to that is, you need to be honest with yourself. Cause like
There we go.
most
That's
people
what
don't
I'm
really get.
talking about.
So most people don't really get like financially stable until what, their late 20s, 30s. Like just to be real with it.
Now 40s.
So
Now
until
40s.
then, you just
I was
most
saying,
times you
could
got
be
to shoot blank,
40s. I didn't think some.
finding stuff that works. Cause you can have money but not really be stable with it. So I
It's
mostly
like the
just be honest.
OnlyFans situation.
I say, have enough money to take a person out on a date. Don't just go and like try to be stunting or like go above your means just to get to know a person. It's not really worth it. So if you can just be honest with yourself, if you have enough money to take a person out on a date without breaking yourself, I don't really see a problem with it because it's hard for me to say don't date unless you're financially stable, but then you don't get financially stable until later, let's say later years, but you have no experience. So then you just, you're struggling out here in the day. I would say if you can afford to without breaking yourself, there's nothing wrong with, going for a date every so often, just as long as you're not like going above your means. So you don't necessarily have to be just stable, but you need to be able to fund the date without like, dang, there go my college funds, for the next 2 weeks. Like, yeah, don't do that to yourself. But if you can afford a date, without going above your means or trying to stunt for random girls, go for it.
Or
I don't go from the scumbag perspective. If niggas really thought like that,
Get y'all clips ready right now. Go for it.
Like I said, I'm always good. If niggas really thought like that, most of these niggas would be single as fuck. Wouldn't have no kids. Wouldn't be none of that because most of these niggas aren't financially stable. Most of them won't be financially stable until far later in life. And like I said, if that was really the case, it'd be a lot more lonely niggas than it is right now, and there's a lot of them. So, it's another one of them questions. So many questions come down to the person. Like, I ain't going broke for nobody. That's just me personally. I ain't going broke for nobody. I'm also not going to expect nobody to go broke for me in that same token. So I mean, I've had many dates where I didn't spend no fucking money at all, none. just bullshit and conversation and still work out. On the other hand, I've had times where I've spent that last couple $100 and then you feel yourself clipping coupons for the next couple weeks. So, I mean, nah, you ain't gotta be financially stable today. You just gotta be realistic. Like Montay was saying, you just gotta be realistic with yourself at the end of the day. You can't be ready to goddamn slit your throat to spite your face or cut off. You know the saying. You can't do that.
We right now, I want y'all to understand we're about to be on the Joe Budden network with them girls. What's that show called? That they just be randomly
Which one? No, because the one with Karen Civil got canceled.
I'm talking the other one. The one that what's the name left? You know how they just randomly, if you playing video games, we don't want you. I'm like, all right, bet, cool. I don't want you either.
That ain't true.
No, it could be true for her, but I don't want you either. So, yeah. Unico, your thoughts on the question, Toine?
Man, my thing is this. It's been times where I had it, but then like later on in the week, I'd be like, man, I really wish I had that back.
Uh-huh.
But I'm still here. Oh, y'all see I'm still here. Trouble don't last always. But just recently, I wasn't sure. I had a lot going on. I wasn't sure.
It was an iffy situation.
Man, Shorty took me to go see Venom, right? Bad. That was nice of her, thoughtful. I gotta do something.
Yeah. I hope you got the extra large popcorn on her dime.
Whoa. We don't.
Oh, Joe, why?
Yeah.
Sure, I'm getting me some cookie dough bites. I'm getting an extra large soda with the butter.
That's what you say during your scumbag segment. If you know you ain't,
I'm gonna let you have your. I'm sorry, Joe.
So with that being, you missed that part. But so we kicking it because it's really just my presence. I try to get her to steal Venom 1 because she hadn't even seen Venom 1 yet. But I try to just say, man, we can steal it. Matter of fact, if you want to catch up on it, whatever, I'm on the fire stick. I'm acting my way. And so we get there, we have a great time. She just enjoys my company, but then like some stuff happened to where my phone charger started messing up. So she had to run me a couple places too. So I'm like, damn, I got to do something. Let's go over here to this dumpling house. So we go to the dumpling house, man. I'm looking through all my apps on the way there, by the way. I'm looking through all my finance. I'm looking through each credit card. Like, man, which one can I preserve?
Check this Cash App, everything.
They see if somebody owe me some money or something. I'm looking through everything. Man, I looked up and I was like, all right, damn, Joe. You're going to have to somehow make this meal $16. What you going to do?
Drink water.
Man, she ate good than a bitch. I tried to
got some wontons.
No. She got some wontons. I thought that was your favorite. I got a little dumping, look, $10.99. I got me a water. I started trying to act like I was drunk. End of the day, you don't have to be financially stable to do it.
Nope.
It would make sense. Like, make sure you good because that's gonna turn into her trauma. Cause now you in a bad mood because you're like, damn, I'm gonna take care of this water.
Broke as hell.
So like now you're in a bad mood for this moment, but but also you could be sacrificing to make this moment that's gonna carry you forward. So it's just got to be calculated and hope it's worth it. Don't do it where you're just gonna be all the way assed out, but at the same time, definitely if it's worth that moment, and I think I'm doing all right today.
I want to go back to Toine and let him answer his question, but I want everybody else to answer this. When you didn't have it and you knew she wanted something, did you go for the cheapest thing on the menu? Just a quick answer, Joe, and then we're gonna go to Tori and then Montay.
I did not get the steak when I could indeed just have the wings.
So you just got the wing. Tori probably don't care.
So are you talking about got the cheaper thing for her, or got the cheaper thing for you?
No, when you realized she was paying because you ain't really got it, did you order the cheapest thing? If I realized she was paying? Yeah, she was paying, or you didn't, or you just had a certain amount of money. We're gonna go with either one. Did you order the cheapest thing just to be prideful, or did you?
No, never that. I ain't never been one to let pride get to me too bad. I ain't.
No.
Shoot. If you gonna offer, I'd hope you wouldn't offer if you weren't prepared to pay for what I wanted.
Boy, you ain't shit.
Hey, I'm just keeping it real. I ain't finna front. But I wouldn't order the most expensive thing if I wasn't paying for it. But I ain't finna go for a double neither.
Or Montay.
So
I just want some fries. I don't really need nothing else.
oh, see.
All right,
Go a long way.
All right, Toine, same question to you, but then answering your own question.
I love fries.
Have I ever skipped out? Nah, I about to say nah. I ain't finna do that, especially if I'm paying for it. Like, damn, all that. I ain't finna be hungry. Like, you just finna see me, like, just go in. But I don't think I ever had that problem. Now, when I was back in, college, good old days, like, I did something strange for a little piece of change, when it came to
Just these
Hey, get in where you put in.
like I had to do what I had to do. Like, I ain't ashamed of it. She say, I'll buy you whatever you need to eat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I ain't had no money to pay it back, so I had to use what I got.
Chalk it up to the game and accept the gift.
Exactly. I got plenty of McDoubles that way.
Your college life was surviving. What about you, Toine? Your original question.
I say it just depends on what you want. Like if you're looking for, whatever the Instagram models and all that type of stuff, then by all means, yeah, you need to be financially stable because they're gonna want something I think this is I don't agree everything with Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? But
some of that stuff makes sense.
Yeah, it's some things that I take from it and from what he's saying and especially like the women that be on there, which they really sometimes be digging their own hole. But I would say if you want that particular woman and you know what she wants, then by all means leave with your wallet. Those type of men, they leave with their wallet, and those type of women, they leave with their looks. So it's just the same thing, just a different variable, whatever. But don't get mad if things don't turn out in your favor, like, oh, she just want me for my money, blah, blah, because that's what, happens. Same thing with women. I feel like it's fair to say, don't get mad, like, oh, he just want me for my body. Like, do you get mad at the hunter? Do you get mad at the trap? Or do you fault yourself for falling for it? Like, everything is bait nowadays. You just got to realize, what it is, and then what your morals and values are. Like, I look at it like, I think me and Montay and a couple other friends, like we had this discussion. It's just like, difference between F boys and the nice guy, whatever. Like you either play the game, win, or you just look at everybody else. I personally say I get up from the table. I don't play neither game. I just stop playing. Like I just do for me, and whatever happens after that, you just attract whatever you manifest. So to answer my question, I guess to sum it up, no, you don't have to be financially stable if you want something that's worthwhile. But yes, you do have to be financially stable if you're looking for a quick return on your investment. I know that's bad to say, but hell, it is what it is.
He ain't lying. He is not lying.
But yeah,
that's my take.
Yeah,
that's a line we got to put that on a t-shirt. You can be mad at the hunter or the trap.
I was about to say.
Bro,
you run later.
Oh yeah.
Or be mad at yourself for getting caught.
I'm writing that down. What am I talking about?
Yo, bro, that's why I tell y'all to go watch Simple Does It, bro.
Already.
That's why I tell y'all to go watch Simple Does It, bro. That's why I'm subscribed on both channels, dog. And this one and the backup. You know what I mean? That's what you get. You get all those things. But the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here on this Man Cave episode, the first one ever, the introductory episode, I want to talk about y'all pride and how do y'all deal with it. Like, how do you deal with your pride? Because masculinity, the one thing about masculinity is pride. That's one thing most people associate with it. How far are you willing to let your pride go? How much are you willing to hold on to? Sometimes, I'll tell everybody, I dated a girl at Southern Miss, and she told me something crazy, and she told me basically that it was 2,000 other dudes trying to talk to her, and I'm lucky. My pride told me nobody ever in their life tell me I'm lucky at nothing because I get another one of you. So that's my pride. I'm grown now. So I might handle that better than I did when I was 19. Because I was 19 on the coast when I told her. I'm like, bro, don't tell me that I'm lucky for nothing. But now I handle it better. It's 11 years later. I handle it better. That's how life go. Unicorn, I want to know your thoughts on pride, masculinity before we get out here. And then I'm going to let Tori, Montay, then Toine again. We're going to end it on Toine.
Man, bruh, it's this saying that's the prince of nobody that just started that stuff. This fool Vegeta started that pride stuff for me. And then it's man, when you think you good at something, and then they like somebody go the other way, like whether that's at your job or a relationship or anything like that, and they go the other way, but you just know you are good enough for it. That's where a lot of pride comes in. It's like you feel like you know you're good enough for something, but you don't get that opportunity. And they try and hit you with all these different anecdotes like, no, that just wasn't for you at the time. And a lot of times it turned out, yeah, it really wasn't for me. But you just be like, no, but I should have. Man, I've been with girls with kids. I done been with girls that ain't been about the right. And the ones that ain't been about the right, or maybe they in a family situation or something like that. And I'd be like, no, she should have left her whole family situation to get with me. Now, what I was going to do with that? What I was going to do with that? But it'd be your pride. So that's something that I've been learning about is like people can have a better alternative for them, even though you just want to win. And that's pride. That's all pride is for me. Pride is, and it's not a good thing to have. You got to direct it in the right place. Like I want to have pride about our podcast and do stuff like that. Like I want to keep them. That's something that we can always manufacture and try and come up with and get better.
It's important where you put the pride.
And it's nobody makes that decision as far as like the success of what I do from a success standpoint. But like, can nobody tell me, obviously we could put our podcast stuff, we could put that up for people to, look at and decide if that's something they want to listen to or whatever. But I can always continue to improve that. But when somebody just better off with their baby daddy and their family, then that ain't, you can't do nothing about that.
It is what it is.
Or from a job situation, if somebody get that job and they say, it's seniority or something like that, you can't do nothing about that. But there are some things that you can do, and that's where you got to use your pride. So pride is a great thing to have when you know where to put it, but it can also be detrimental and put you in some silly stuff that you ain't got no business being in.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes your pride can be a trap, and you gotta, like I said, older me know better than younger me, because some situation I would have been in when younger me was there, that I probably would have been a trap. And then you learn to ask questions, because once you learn questions, you learn a lot. So it's basically, you be like, back then I'm like, I told y'all I'm there too, bro. Let's go. I told everybody. And then it'd be like, hold up, wait a minute. Something up about this situation.
You have to tell everybody.
Something up about this situation. Something weird. Something going on. She still live with her husband? Okay, that would have been a trap if I didn't ask that. I was ready to go. So that would have been a trap. Yeah, he's still here. Like, if I didn't ask that, that would have been okay. That seemed like a setup. All right, Tori.
Or do I? Where to put them?
The question how I deal with pride is how I deal with most things, and I always like therapy. People, I'm always push it because I've let my pride get me into so much trouble in time. I done been jumped. I've been stomped out by niggas and guns pulled on me. Every bad situation that you can think of, I done been there. And I look back on it now, 9 times out of 10, it was my pride that got me there. You ain't too much pride to walk away, too much pride not to say nothing. It took a long time to learn how to do otherwise, but I mean, life's so much easier when you can put your pride in the back seat and just sort of, sometimes you really going with the flow is really just going with the flow. You ain't got to fight the current, not even a little bit. So never be afraid to put your pride in the back seat. If you can't do that, then it's going to be a long and arduous road.
Yeah, I love the fact that everybody giving different perspectives on pride. For instance, what Tori talking about, when somebody say something, you ain't always got to say something back just because you felt some way. That can put you in a bad situation. That's that pride. That's that masculinity. That's that masculinity. You ain't going to talk to me like that. I'm a grown man. But he got all his friends with him, you by yourself. But hey, I can't back down. One rule when getting jumped out with touching the hood is take one with you.
Yep.
Like that's something
You are
just not one
if
out,
you're gonna
dog.
get jumped, always
respect.
throw the first punch.
Yeah, get
If
one.
you're gonna get jumped anyways,
Yeah,
you gotta take one.
Yeah, get respect, and then you had Joe's perspective on the job and where to put it, and then my perspective. Like it's pride is so much, so deep in the masculinity. I love the topic. Montay, how do you deal with your pride?
My perspective is definitely going to be a little different because when I think of pride, I think of when I was young, I really didn't have any because it wasn't a lot about myself or like period that I was proud of. So I was really like a lot more humble and meek in like a lot of the perspectives or thoughts that I had. And then growing older, developing a lot more pride, the way that I figure that I deal with it is to identify when I have it first. Like, cause I think of some things or I say some stuff and then I have to realize when am I being actually prideful and where is that coming from? Like perfect example is like if I'm at work and if I've been at work for let's say 2 years and a new person comes on the job, regardless of their position, and try to tell me something about my job, I will get prideful. But then I have to think about, okay, where is this coming from? Am I being prideful because I know where trying to tell me something about a job that I know more about you, or are you actually, trying to help me and I'm just being prideful and not really wanting to listen to you? So like me dealing with my pride is first realizing when I'm being prideful, then trying to figure out, okay, where is this coming
That's
from?
the hardest part, though.
And so I've gotten better about that because, like I said, when I was young, I really didn't have a lot of prideful moments or like prideful thoughts. I was just there basically. I was just in the background. So I was just, when somebody would tell me something, I would do it. I had like a lot more of a follower mentality. Even when Toine met me in college, like I was a lot more quiet and I was just there. And it took me a while to grow my own opinions or my own thoughts about stuff. Even now, like even Toine gonna tell you, I'm a lot different than what I used to be. So it's just like growing my own opinion and learning about myself. And then I learned, okay, what am I prideful about? And then realize, okay, where is this coming from? Is it coming from a good place or is it coming from a place of just arrogance? And then if I'm just being arrogant, okay, I need to deal with it. So it's just like basically being able to stop myself and trying to see where is my pride coming from before it just goes out of control. That's how I deal with it.
Yeah, lack of a pride is a thing too. Having lack of pride, not like being what some people call a pushover in a way. Like you think like I think,
or being a background character.
Yeah, but you think like I think. You follow what we say. You do what we do. It's what y'all we were talking about in pre-show social media. Y'all follow me because you don't got no pride. It's like I don't really believe that. I don't really believe that. So, but you ain't got no pride or something, so you just go with it. And even if it's just a little pride, you just go with it. And then developing that pride, how to develop it. That's gonna be an episode 2. We're gonna have to do that, how to develop yourself and grow. But next week
just
is
how
therapy.
To build confidence in general would be a good episode.
Yeah, so we're gonna get on that. Next week is therapy. We done talked a little bit about it. We hinted at it. But why are we so aversive to therapy? So that will be next week's episode. And we're going to go to Toine. Toine, how do you deal with your pride? We done heard different perspectives on pride. I'm really looking forward to yours. Simple does it. Bro.
I just look at pride as, I guess, just one of those things you gotta kind of do. Like you gotta kind of like muster through. Like it's not a bad thing to start off prideful, which the actual definition is like basically saying that you're proud of one's achievements or something like that. So it's not a bad thing to to have this, like I guess, this sort of arrogance about yourself, because it gets you through a lot of there's trials that you don't feel very confident in. So you can kind of just muster through that. But over time, you realize that dwindles down, and then you transition from pride to being humble. And like humility, whatever, I guess I think it brings out the best of us with time, and that comes about with wisdom as well. So I'll say just go about pride, not necessarily full throttle, but just have it in you, and you just fail early and fail hard until you find your true self and find whatever values that you have that coincides with your way of life that you choose to live. I think he was going back to the Vegeta thing, where he said, I don't know if anybody remembers, but when Vegeta and Goku was fighting Buu at the same time, whatever, Vegeta, he prided himself for being the prince of the Saiyans, all that type of stuff, and he always fought Goku, and then he realized Goku was holding back, and then he
hit him where it hurt.
Yeah, then I guess he just sat there in one of the episodes. He was like, I admit it, you're the best, you're the greatest, whatever. Like that took a lot. And I feel like pride at that point in time, it wasn't his pride, it was his humility, but it was still a strong act, and it showed a lot of character for Vegeta at that particular point in time. And I feel like
was real.
Right. And that's the thing I was talking to you about, time and growth. Like you have to be prideful and get you through those things. Like you couldn't tell Vegeta shit. Like, bro, I'm the Prince of all Saiyans, bitch. I'll beat your ass. Like that's pretty much the mentality.
I think he told us he was a Super Saiyan when he was far from it. He had everybody believe it.
That's the epitome of pride right there.
But
when he told Frieza that first time, I'm a Super Saiyan, and then got stomped out.
I believed it too, because they had background.
I did too.
Like maybe he is.
It had been 5 episodes of yelling, so I thought it was real.
That's fact. That's a good point. That's the epitome of pride, where you think you a Super Saiyan and you're not. But that also got to be that got to give you that got to be a big example of delusion I've ever seen in my life. That was awful. That's down bad.
But it was a motivator though. Like it pushed him.
If he hadn't had that moment, he wouldn't have been able to ever go Super Saiyan.
Exactly, and it about to say it pushed him whatever to not settle for just being second best. Which I don't know if y'all been reading the manga with Super lately, but it's getting
Ultra
heated.
ego,
bro. It's getting heated. I don't know what's gonna happen. So, but yeah,
it is. It's a whole moment.
with that being said, his pride pushed him to never settle and always want to be the best, and until he figured out over time where he kind of fit within the realm of where he was trying to go with being a warrior, being a prophet, saying all this type of stuff. And just to touch on what Montay said, like you can kind of just see the growth in him as an example of with comparing it with Vegeta. Like he formed his own opinion, like, okay, I don't have to be this particular warrior or fight this particular way, and I can make my own path. I don't have to try to beat him or be this strong. I can do my own way and still be considered strong in my own mind. What else I was about to say? Oh yeah, and I guess my last example is just to piggyback off that, like you can be strong in your own right and still be a force to be reckoned with. Like I don't know if y'all I keep using anime references because I feel like that's what he got anime in his background. I feel like all of us watch it at some point. So it's like, all right, cool. Like for example, you can be One Piece. I don't know how many people watch One Piece.
Oh, don't give me.
so let's just call it a buck, right? So Luffy, he want to be king of the pirates, all that type of stuff.
He wants to be the most free.
He wants to be the most free, but at the same time, he said he want to be the king of the prize. So for that, he gotta beat this person, that person, that blah blah. And he's pretty strong. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I think if you do the same comparison with Naruto and Sasuke, at the same time, Luffy and Zoro, even though he in the background, Zoro will still whoop that ass. Like at some point in time, even though Zoro wants to be the strongest swordsman, Luffy want to be the king of the pirates. They still both kings or greats in their own right. But if they should ever clash, they would still hold their own. That's what I'm getting at. Same thing with Naruto and Sasuke. Like they both have this powerful. He wants to be Hokage. He became Hokage. He wants to, and Naruto, I don't know, but Sasuke wants to get revenge. Whatever the fuck he's doing, but he did what he did, and they still held on in their own right. And I feel like that's what pride can do for you. You can be a motivator, but at the same time, it can also be a great lesson that you can look back on those milestones and then be prideful of those things, and you don't have to hold that against yourself.
It's all in where you put it.
Right.
Yeah. And pride, like Toine said, pride can put you into a lot of situations. I said this on Backseat Gaming. I told a story about when we was in college, Toine, I was on probation going to senior year, and the counselor literally told me, you have to make 8 A's, but really you probably need to change your major. So I sat outside. I walked outside. It was raining. It was like 6 o'clock. It got dark. It get dark. It's in fall. Was it fall or spring?
Mm-hmm.
It did dark early.
Yeah.
I sat out there in the rain, and I told myself, ain't nobody finna tell you that you ain't finna do this. I graduated in 4 years. So no, nobody gonna tell me what I can or can't do. Nobody's gonna write my book. In those cases, pride can push you through. But then there's also where pride can turn into two different things, as Toine said. It can turn to a humility, into me, or it can turn into
blessing or a curse.
arrogant. It can go, yeah, like what Tori said, it go to arrogance. Like me trying to fight 5 dudes just to prove I'm tough because I stand on mine. I rep this. That could go to arrogance. You know that's not gonna end up in nothing good. Or it can go to humility. I got a family. I got people I love. This could go bad. Let me be humble. My bad. I didn't mean to breast you. Cause Toine, we saw a lot of time in the club, somebody just bumping somebody, it just went all out.
Yeah, bro, which is one of the things I'm kind of getting on top of. One of the things I never understood, bro. We all here for the same thing, bro. Like we trying to fill on some some booty cheeks. Like I'm not trying to
That's that pride.
trying to go home with something tonight. I ain't trying to fight nobody.
Yeah, somebody brought
Y'all came for the wrong F. We came for 2 completely different Fs, I promise.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude bump into you, all of a sudden, you hit me, fam? I'm like, bro, it's cool, my bad. Some people say my bad. Some people
That's that pride again.
Yeah.
Sometimes pride ain't gonna let you be like my bad. You be like, nigga, what?
Yes, and that's where it could go. It could teeter. Both of them is a way of pride, but it's depending on where you put it, as we talked about. And ultimately, I wanted to bring that question in to wrap this up. That's ultimate masculinity. It can go up, and depending on which way, like you can have pride in like I'm gonna be the greatest dad. I'm gonna do the stuff that my father didn't do. The Uncle Phil situation, the other things. When Will Smith was like, when Will had that situation, like I'm gonna be a better dad than he'll ever be, and then all that.
Why didn't he want me?
Yeah, all that situation like that pride can motivate you. Like, hey, I'm gonna be a father. I'm gonna raise my kids. I'm gonna make sure I provide. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm never gonna go on my goal. Or I could go into some future realm where just sleep with everybody and don't care about nobody's feelings and toxic. What people call toxic masculinity that gets posed in the media and the news, as Montay said earlier. It goes into all that negative stuff. I'm a man. You do what I say, or this is what men do. You don't dress like that. You don't do that, and stuff like that. It go toxic. So ultimately, what we want to talk about masculinity is it goes up and it can go either way. And after that, we're gonna give everybody a chance to say their goodbyes real quick. Plug yourself. Plug whatever challenge you got. Got merch link in bio. Anything you got, YouTube pages, Twitter, they're all in the description anyway. But give everybody a last chance. You, Nico, he right here anyway.
I'm beefing with this black congresswoman. I just found out about her.
There we go.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Do you hear me? Out Friday.
Hear me out. She really upset me today. So I'm watching this random dude that goes around and trolls Trump rallies and stuff. He dresses up and he puts on like American flags and all that stuff, and then he goes around like, I'm here to support you. And then he's got signs that says, make sure you deep throat the boot, for bootlickers or whatever.
Yeah, bootlickers.
Make sure you deep throat. He's got these signs. He's a little ugly, little fat little kid, man. He just walks around with these signs, and he's totally the opposite. He's totally the opposite of what that rally stands for. He's like, no, I'm just supporting the police right now. What are you talking about? So at any rate, he goes to one present to this chick named Rayla Campbell, who was running for Congress in Massachusetts, sister girl. Now, hold on. How much of a chance does she hold in Massachusetts to win unless you doing a couple of things? And the way she acted, she was acting.
She's doing all of them.
So it said Allah something instead of like God. He said Allah. He was like, Allah is God. So what do you mean? God and country, Allah and country. What's wrong with that?
Allah actually in the Bible.
So they was so upset about that.
Neither are white people.
Grabbed his sign and tore it. And she had on her American flag dress, all this stuff. And she was just being a total Candy Jones. You know how I feel about her. So I'm on a rampage now with Rayla Campbell. So there will be a reaction video to this that I'm coming out with. There will be a reaction video to this tragedy, and also at the same time travesty. I mean, and also how funny dude is, man, because that was hilarious to just go to a Trump rally with like 9 people. And go out there and show out, man, and to really think this is what people think. Like, there's really people out here that just they thought dude was really Muslim, He wasn't. Far from it. So yeah, I'm beefing with Rayla Campbell, a black congresswoman who's running for a black woman that's running for Congress out of the state of Massachusetts. She doesn't stand a chance unless she's on Scandal or something. So at any rate, that's what I got coming up. Do you hear me with Unico Williams and Unico Reacts?
Yeah. Allah in the Bible, God is actually referred to Allah in the Bible. So for people that don't read the Bible that claim they do.
No, they're about they're good hard Christians. That word is not the King James version whatsoever. If you let them tell it, so
the crazy part is in the King
Testament coming through.
They're like, who is that? That's not mine. I'm like, yes, it is. It's the same. Matter of fact, the Old Testament is almost the same in both, but we ain't go. But again, we don't. Again, it's not knowing what you're talking about and getting led by other people. Tori, what do you got to promote? Let's go.
Oh, you already just follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna be arguing with somebody over something stupid. I'm gonna say something outrageous. Afro Comedy 765. I'm gonna say something horrible about somebody. You will be entertained. It is what it is, or you won't be. I don't care either way. We can argue about it.
All right, Montay, you know what to do. Broke Ugly Dudes, shout them out. Let's go.
What's up? A member of the Broke Ugly Dudes TV on YouTube and the Broke Ugly Dudes podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all social media outlets. Come join us for some fun, some randomness, and some actual knowledge every once in a while. Simple as that.
Yeah, go follow them all on the social medias and all that. That's below. And last but certainly not least, Toine Jackson.
Yo, what up? I don't really got much going on, but like I said before, you can just follow me on all social platforms. I be Twines, IBTOINE. Into like just chill music, some a couple bars, some feel good, whatever. You can look me up on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Toine Jackson, TOINE Jackson. Right now, in particular, this particular song I got really proud of. Just came out of nowhere. It's called "I'm Good." I don't know if you can see it. It's probably like reverse, but yeah, it's a nice little bop. If you got a little time to just give me a good 3 minutes, like it.
I was hearing with that right just a second ago, because I thought we was about to end like a Boondocks episode.
Oh yeah, that was that.
You start doing that,
mate? We should.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if you want to, bro, if you like it, go ahead and stream it.
Get some of this hot fire from Toine, man.
Hey, live reaction, yeah. Live reaction, yeah. We got that new IB Toine on deck.
Joe had to put on his radio voice.
For everybody that don't know, Unico used to do the radio.
Make sure y'all show if y'all toxic masculinity. You want that girl, go get her.
Don't be afraid to murder somebody if you got to.
What?
Hey, what you gotta do.
All right, don't follow
metaphorically speaking. Metaphorically speaking, don't be afraid to.
Bro, any chick I gotta kill somebody for ain't the chick for me.
That'll be the one that really get you. That's what take you from pride and arrogant right there. Keep drinking.
Like, I don't think any chick should be attracted to that, bro. Just bitch, I'll kill for you. What? Like,
we lost another one. Just like that.
Just like that. Tori, we're waiting for Tori to officially be canceled. So we don't know when it's gonna be. It's gonna be sooner or later. But yeah, and Toine got one of my favorite songs, "Standing Ovation." I love that song, by the way. It's on his SoundCloud, so watch it. I even texted him about it. That song was out for 3 months. I'm like, what is this, Toine?
It ain't got nothing on choice, but that's okay.
I love choices too. But man, we just shout out.
Hey, I appreciate it. I promise
take that product placement. Never turn down free marketing.
Yeah, man. Exactly. That's what it is, man.
But I got a lot more coming in store. I'm just really like racking up, but I got a lot more coming up in store, whatever, for this next year. Like I'm really gonna push it, no excuses. Going all out.
Let's go. By the way, I like the old school. We gotta go back to old Toine when we first started this. What you need?
Oh yeah.
I got what you. That song is lit. All them songs. His SoundCloud, go watch him. That's all hype, man. Toine, Kick Ready Player, You know they killing the game right now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Kid is something else, man.
Yeah, he just performed the other day, so he out here doing his thing. They love him in Brazil. So shout out to all the Brazilian people that might be watching because they love the channel. Well, they love his music. They don't care about that, but they might say subtitles one day, and I'm like, oh, my bad. But all right, thank y'all for watching. Remember to keep stomping. This is Man Cave, and something amazing can happen. Peace.
You might get a flag.